Hello, everybody. I'm Sarika Jain, love and relationship coach and author of the 90-Day Soulmate Plan, which came out in September of 2021. No, 2022. What year are we? So I'm so excited to see you here. We're doing a 13-week book club series for this book. So basically, it's free. You tune in every week and I send you the reading that we're going to be doing and the exercises, the homework. And this is just an opportunity for you to connect, get into alignment with your dream relationship, and ask me any questions if you have any. And also do some mindfulness meditation. So, we're going to start off with 10 minutes of mindfulness meditation, after which I'll start the reading for this week. So, whether you're tuning in live or you're coming in for the replay, it doesn't matter. We're going to be connected through this conscious field, and we're going to be connecting with the energy of love and with your intention of calling in your soulmate and creating your dream life. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is invite you to close your eyes. And before we get started, I'm going to tell you we're on week 9, and we're actually going to be talking about activating the divine feminine within. So, it's part of this process that I call discovering your wow factor. So, what makes you as a woman mysterious, sexy, unique, powerful? How do you align with or activate that feminine part of you? So many of us are so used to living in our masculine, and that's why we intimidate men without realizing it. Okay. And so when you get into alignment with your divine feminine or you awaken her, then you get to be, you get to have balance in your masculinity and your femininity. And this is really important so that you can be in your most powerful feminine self with men at work, at home. Okay, so let's get into a comfortable position. I'm going to lead us through 10-minute guided meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes and focus on your breath. And together, let's take an inhale and exhale. And I'm going to ring the bell 3 times. Breathing in, I notice I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I notice that I'm breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, I notice the sensations of the breath entering my nose, filling up my body with air. Breathing out, I notice the sensation of the breath leaving my nose. In, out. Breathing in, I notice my thoughts percolating through my head. Breathing out, I just observe them like clouds passing by, bringing my attention back to my breath. In, out. Breathing in, I observe the sounds surrounding me and the sensations around me. Breathing out, I observe them and then bring myself back to my breath, focusing on my inhale and exhale. In, out. Breathing in, I know that this is the present moment. Breathing out, I know that it is the only moment and it's a wonderful moment. Present moment, only moment, wonderful moment. In, out. Breathing in, I bring my attention down to my heart and I notice the sensations arising. Breathing out, I observe these sensations and I recognize that I am loving awareness. Inhale, observing the heart. Exhale, I am loving awareness. Breathing in, I tune into my body and notice any thoughts and feelings arising. Breathing out, I practice I love, accept, and forgive myself. In, out. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering. May my loved ones be happy. May my loved ones be healthy. May my loved ones be free from suffering. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from suffering. Thank you. And you can slowly open your eyes and thank yourself for being here, for making this time to focus on your love life and focusing on mindfulness, meditation. So I'm going to be starting with reading. I'm going to be moving to page 209. So last week we discussed igniting your sexuality, and so many women, so many of us, most of us have never had like a healthy introduction to sex, sexuality, connecting with our bodies, seeing our bodies and our sexuality as something sacred. And now this week, I'm going to be talking about activating the divine feminine within. And these are really dense topics. Like, this is something you could explore for the rest of your life, by the way. Like, this is the path of the feminine mastery. Okay. So, this is just to give you a taste of what it's like to be in your feminine, to claim it for yourself, so that when you're out dating and you're in a relationship, you know how to embody these qualities easily, and you're releasing anything, any old wounds or programs or stories that no longer serve you as a woman today. Okay. So, what is being a woman to you? What are her traits? What does she look like? And what's her role in society? Our idea of the woman is largely shaped by the media and our major icons in religion and society, or from the women we've known in our life. The woman is somehow supposed to be beautiful and accomplished, married, and a wonderful mother, living a supremely manicured, perfect life. Yet the reality is very different. The average woman is overworked, shuttling between different obligations, caring for her family or the people around her, and finding pleasure in simple things like her girlfriends, yoga, working out, spa time, and travel. She lives in a boxed world with an identity shaped by society around her. Does she feel feminine within due to this role? Due to the constant shame, guilt, and overwhelm of balancing so many taxing obligations, many women are having health issues and nervous breakdowns in their 40s, if not earlier, right? How many women do you know have health issues, burnout, thyroid issues, stress related issues, right? It's like it's mounting, actually, how many people I know personally. And so, you have to you have to know that as a woman you have all these obligations, and if you're single, you're still stressed about work, dating, etc. So you get to define, as a modern woman, you get to define what it means to be feminine to you. When you're connected to your true source of womanhood, you access a deeply forgotten spiritual regenerative power that is meant to flow through a woman's body, and also specifically your body that's been shut off. So before I started this journey, I felt like the left side of my body was numb. Like, I just felt like I had no sensation. And now I'm realizing it's because I was just living from my head, and I was so in my masculine. right? Trying to power through, trying to achieve my goals. And it just wasn't working for me anymore. In Hinduism, there is a concept of the god and goddess Shiva and Shakti. While Shiva lives in the crown of the head and embodies the realm of thought and consciousness, Shakti is pure primal creative manifestation energy that lies at the bottom of the body. She lies at the bottom of the spine. Okay. Without enlightenment, Shiva and Shakti are separated and they each live in their own wounded realms. Think about how disembodied we are as humans as we live in our heads trying to navigate life from external sources of information. How we need others' advice and approval to propel us forward without tapping into a life force within ourselves. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like you're living on autopilot? You're seeking approval from others? I mean, I think that's the biggest issue that my clients have is they've always lived life according to getting approval from their careers, parents, degrees, bosses, boyfriends, right? What if we shifted that approval within? Like what if we claimed what was true and authentic to us? In the journey of awakening, when the blocks in the energetic centers in the body, known as chakras, are cleared, the Shakti energy can rise up the spine, finally reaching up to Shiva in divine union. There is bliss in this state, and even an ambrosia like nectar that can emanate and awaken the pineal gland, creating absolute ecstasy in the body. The masculine and feminine engage in an eternal dance, creating joy and vitality. This kind of union is possible between a man and woman, but first, each must find the sacred bond within themselves. And this is a real concept, the rising of Shakti energy and the Shiva and Shakti energies merging and opening up your third eye and creating Amrita. That's the nectar. That's the divine immortal nectar that allows you to see beyond this reality. And when you do this work, specifically even this work around love, you open up all your chakras, all your energy centers, and it's an enlightenment path, really. And you claim both that masculine and feminine sides within yourself. I'll share that when I was going through my own heroine journey. I mean, I still am, my love journey, my self-love journey. Actually, I went, and this is after I got married. I was on a beach in Miami and I conducted a self-marriage ceremony. So it was me claiming that I was marrying myself. And it was beautiful. I wore a white dress with like a white, like flowers around my head. And I, I did a ritual. I burnt some sage. I walked into the ocean. And yeah, it was beautiful. Many of us have been living in wounded feminine state for so long that we've forgotten how to truly feel and be feminine. Our energies remain stuck in the lower realms within our body, caught up in low self esteem, shame, and impoverished perceptions of being a woman. When we're in our divine feminine, we can create chemistry within ourselves and others and become irresistible to strong, grounded, sexy masculine men. We feel whole, energetic, and unbelievably sexy. And by the way, these are physiological things. Like when you're within your feminine, when you're awakening that feminine energy within you, you start emanating like dopamine, serotonin, right? Oxytocin, like hormones are emitted. And these hormones are what attract men to you. Okay. In the next chapter, I'll be talking more about sexual polarity and how to create that magical dynamic tension and pull between the masculine and feminine, which is the secret to creating chemistry. Through the work in this book, you've already been clearing your inner blocks and your feminine energy has been rising. But the true power lays in you claiming what femininity and womanhood looks and feels like for you unapologetically. And I think that's great, right? When you do this, you really get to live the life that your soul wants to live. You get to claim like what kind of lifestyle turns you on. So for me, I feel I'm living my dream life. Like I'm not working a 9 to 5. I get to coach, which I love. I don't even feel like coaching is work. I get to write. I get to be there for my children all day. I I have this beautiful relationship with my husband where he gets to be the king and he gets to provide and be there for us. And, we do couples therapy together. We try to keep our relationship as our number one priority. And I just feel really aligned. And this is what womanhood looks like for me. The 5 feminine archetypes. One of my favorite ways of understanding the woman is through the study of different archetypes. Psychologist Carl Jung used them for understanding human behavior and what drives our ego and soul. In order to understand the different aspects of woman and her different strengths and shadows, I'm going to share a framework. I love this framework, by the way. I'm on page 211. In this framework, I've adapted Sheila Foster's work in The Sacred Feminine. You can go to her website. She has a free PDF, and it's a beautiful PDF. Like, I love her work, by the way. I'm going to be sharing 5 archetypes: the mother, the warrior, the wise woman, the lover, and finally, the queen. There are countless other archetypes, but I'll be focusing on these for the purposes of this book. And I find it really easy to use this framework because it's just 4, like a diamond, and then the queen in the middle. The mother is perhaps the most well known archetype and is revered in many religions and pagan cultures as the ultimate creator of life. She bestows her children and those around her with love and nurturing. Her role lends to a certain vulnerability as she focuses on taking care of her family's well being. In some cultures, she's seen as the leader of her family, the matriarch. Sometimes this archetype is seen as virginal and holy, and other times she's seen as the ultimate divine protector. In the light, the mother is kind, intelligent, devoted, and compassionate. She receives with grace and bestows her goodwill and unconditional love on others. She's responsible, caring, and nurturing, and open to different perspectives. The mother is always in service, helping others reach their potential. She seeks to alleviate people's problems through prayers, compassion, understanding, and wisdom. She's brimming with patience, tolerance, and forgiveness. Okay. How many of us have met this kind of woman? I mean, it's really rare, right? Like to meet a woman, a mother who embodies all this. And I do know of a couple of women like this, and they're amazing. Like you just feel like you're not being judged by them. You feel so comfortable being around this type of woman, or when this type of when a woman is embodying this, like the healthy mother archetype. Okay. In the shadow aspect, the mother is a martyr, is prone to conditional ways of loving which hurt her children, struggles with low self-esteem and even self-contempt. She's constantly taking care of others to the point of denying her own needs, abandoning and betraying herself. She's critical of her children and her husband. She's beset with overwhelm, guilt, and contempt. She mothers the men in her life and can become overbearing and expectant in her love. It's so funny when I coach women, this is an archetype they really resonate with. And I mean, I can say that for myself, right? It's so easy to fall into the wounded mother archetype in our relationships, and we begin to emasculate the men in our lives. We withhold love. We're critical. We feel resentful. I mean, I'm battling it right now. Like I have 3 kids under the age of 5. I have a 5-month-old, and it's so easy for me to fall into overwhelm, guilt, and um, resentment. Like these are the 3 emotions that go with the shadow aspect of the mother. And so I have to work really hard to recognize where I am being like that and heal it, fill my cup, with what does give me joy and try to like veer towards like the healthy archetype of mother. And even with my partner, with my husband, I try to not mother him. It's like I have to like watch my like. Of course, I'm nurturing towards him, and I tease him, and kind of treat him like a little boy sometimes, just for fun. But I have to remember to be in my lover archetype, which I'm going to be talking about next. Okay. So, just as we've covered the mother wound, take a moment to think about your idea of mothering. Like, what, in what ways do you see this archetype within yourself in both the light and shadow aspects? So, the second archetype is the lover, who is intoxicated with life and an explorer of all things relationships, men, nature, art, culture, and life itself. She's connected with her sexual nature and has a joyful innocence about her. She fills herself and others with abundant life force and knows the art of connection. So I just want to say, as I'm reading this, I'm thinking about my 5-year old, my 3-year old and 5-year old. I'm not the sexuality part, but just how innocent and open-hearted my, little girls are. They're naturally in this lover essence. And the lover isn't just like, you know, a love or a sex partner. It's the lover is someone who loves life. Like she's just interested in art and culture and relationships and anything juicy and beautiful. Okay. Beauty. The lover is a sexual priestess healing through intimacy and the body. Unfortunately, the lover has been given a bad rep. In ancient times, she was a courtesan and sometimes chosen to be the consort of kings and noblemen. Women who were married often felt jealous of them stealing their husbands' hearts and enjoying freedoms that they didn't have. So there's like a couple of movies that focus on this courtesan archetype. Like this woman did exist. She lived in medieval times. There were groups of women that had freedom, and they were like prostitutes, you could say. But they did hold power. I mean, it's so fascinating that in society, some of the most powerful women have been prostitutes in the past, and they held men's secrets. They were men's best friends, not best friends, but good friends, right? And so, in the modern context, this kind of archetype is given such a bad rep, right? Like, we don't want to be seen as sexy and like a seductress. We don't want to, like, I remember when I was in college, there were women that were jealous of me. They thought I was stealing their boyfriends or something. And I wasn't. I was just being myself. I was just being free flowing and, you know, I was being myself. And I think women were jealous of me. And I've had clients who've experienced the same, like other women being jealous of them for whatever reason, right? That's because we have such a wounded idea of the feminine, of the lover archetype. In her light, she brings joy, discovery, and pleasure into her life and isn't afraid to be sexually expressed. She's sensual, wild, and has plenty of joie de vivre to boot. She's the master of relationships and connection and awakens the fire of desire of those around her. She's confident, bold, and beautiful. She honors and respects herself and sees her body as a temple. She's the ultimate teacher in self-love and sees and how to love others in a healthy way. She has different names in various cultures. Isis in Egypt, Aphrodite in Greece. Okay. So I did a 1-year program. I think I was sharing it in my last book club. It was a 1-year program on awakening this archetype within. And it was with Regina Thomas Hauer. She goes by Mama Gina, and she's like this iconic feminine leader. And this is not easy stuff. Like this archetype has been beaten out of us. And so for women to step into feeling sexual and joyful and sensual and pleasure filled, it's like it's an art, and it takes practice and commitment. And right now, there are a lot of like sex coaches out there that you can work with to reconnect with this archetype within you. Um, and it's really powerful. In her shadow aspect, the lover is prone to codependency and losing herself in relationships to the point of submission. She's a master manipulator and can use the power of sex and seduction to get what she needs. She's jealous of others' success and beauty and feels powerless and insecure in her relationships. She is placed on the opposite of the mother, who are seen in conflict, such as the Madonna whore complex. Okay. A lot of my clients relate to this relationship with the shadow aspect of the lover, feeling like we have to submit to our partner, having sex in order to win partnership, to gain connection. So many women sleep with men on a first date just to secure connection. I've done that so many times. Like, I totally had a wounded relationship with my lover archetype. You know, I used my sexuality to get what I wanted in a relationship, and I'm the first person to say that. So, it's not. It's taken me a while to rewire myself from that. You know, and when you're so used to that, you attract unavailable men. It's like your chemistry is that's what your chemistry is geared towards. Okay. So the wise woman, now this one is, I think, one of the coolest and something that we rarely think about. But who is the wise woman archetype? She is a prophet grandmother who has seen and experienced life. She's deeply connected to the underworld and the heavens. She's spiritual, mystical, and intuitive, and is always seeking truth. She's a medicine woman, shaman, bringing healing to her community, and she's talented in esoteric and ancient arts. She's a teacher and way shower and draws on ancient customs. She's the wisdom keeper of her community, and people turn to her in times of distress for counsel and guidance. In our culture, she's sometimes seen as the old hag or crone, which is seen as denigrating. The Salem witch trials heavily persecuted women on the basis of their intuitiveness and psychic abilities. So, um, just think about how also we've been taken away from this wise woman archetype. Like, we're so connected to our knowledge, to gaining knowledge through books and studying at school, etc. And yet each of us have connection to our higher self, our intuition, our bodies have consciousness, our bodies have wisdom, and we know on a soul level how to heal, how to navigate life with wisdom, how to access, how to grow our connection with nature, how to be like wise counsel women. Like, we know how to do these things, it's within us. And so this archetype right now, it's just an invitation to explore that side of yourself. For me, when I started this journey, I started taking classes and psychic reading, and I took a lot of classes around. I mean, I did my yoga certification. I became a mindfulness and meditation teacher and practitioner. I studied with healers and Reiki healers, psychics, and a psychotherapist in Boston whom I studied under. And so I just was on this journey of learning how to awaken this intuitive healing side of myself, which is what's propelled my work. In her light, the wise woman is intuitive, grounded, spiritual, and wise. She brings enlightenment and awareness to the world around her. She's supremely humble. Each of her words and actions are sacred and thoughtful. She's always learning and seeking deeper truths. In the shadow aspect, she's prone to wrong perceptions, fundamentalism, and hiding behind her ego. She has the power of casting spells and curses, either consciously or unconsciously. She can be self righteous. On the flip side, she may be in denial of her wise woman and shunning herself to seek safety and approval from society. So I noticed that a lot of women, they say, like, I don't know, or they just don't access their deep knowing. And I get it because I was there too. I had to learn how to trust myself. I had to learn how to trust my inner voice. Okay. The warrior, which is the fourth archetype, this is the one that most people know about. Okay. And she's like most of my clients have resonated with this archetype. Okay. She's the strategic fighter. She's goal driven, mission oriented, she's a woman who gets what she sets out for. She's an architect, builder, and is known for her strength and aptitude for creating structures. She's the opposite of the wise woman, as both are dichotomous energies. The wise woman is still and introspective, while the warrior is out in the world in pursuit of worldly endeavors. Most of us are in touch with this archetype as we're in a go-getter culture, especially when it comes to our education and careers. In a sense, we're taught to hunt for opportunities, money, and men. In the light, the warrior is strong, courageous, committed to contributing to society at large. She's driven by her fierce love to bring justice and order and a strong sense of self. She knows what she is when she knows that she is of value and her work is needed in the world. She fights only when needed and knows the value of surrender and grace. In her shadow, the warrior is always in battle and in high defense. Okay. So, just notice within you, like, where does this warrior archetype show up for you? Is it in a lot of your life, some of your life? And how does it impact like your love life or your personal life, your relationships with friends and family? Okay. For me, because I was so in my warrior mode, it was hard for me to surrender to love. And yeah, so it's learning about how to like kind of um, compartmentalize these different archetypes within us and heal the shadow aspects, which brings me to the last archetype, which is the queen. Okay. So I'm on page 215. The queen is the integration of all these archetypes in the highest form. She has the wisdom and compassion of a mother, the open heart and sensuality of a lover, the spiritual and intuitive ability of a wise woman, and the courage and determination of a warrior. Doesn't that sound amazing to have all of these aspects within us? The queen is venerated and exalted by both men and women for her ability to bring divinity in the human form. She's a complete woman who's gone through various life experiences and continues to integrate her past and shadow aspects so that she can be the best version of herself. She's adored and respected by her family and community. Through her own example, she inspires others to rise in their own love consciousness. The queen has balanced feminine and masculine energies and knows how to play each of these polarities depending on the circumstance. She's magnanimous, generous, and lives an abundant life on her own terms. She's sovereign and the creator of her own destiny. Doesn't this sound amazing? I feel like I'm finally stepping into my queen. I've been watering each of these archetypes, and it takes time to integrate them and feel comfortable, feel like you're stepping into your power. In her light, she's humble and responsible in how she conducts herself and is concerned for the greater good. She has all the positive qualities from the other archetypes. In her shadow, she can be vain, proud, and selfish. She's aware of her power and uses it for personal gain. In addition, she has all the shadow traits of the four archetypes. So just tune into yourself. Do you recognize this archetype in your life? And when does she show up? Who are some people that you can think of who embody this queen archetype? What do you aspire for? So, this journey of love has allowed me to integrate all of these archetypes. I've spent a lot of time exploring each one, and it's been a delicious, exciting journey to discover and water the seeds of each. I'm now really proud and thankful for my life experiences and who I was in each of them, which gave me plenty of opportunities to learn and heal so I can become the woman I am today. I've loved relishing each of my stories, even the heartbreaks, failures, and drama, celebrating my insights and how far I've come as a woman. Although I started off feeling like a princess that needed to be saved by a prince, I did. I bought into all the fantasies about having a knight in shining armor come save me from being single. I now feel confident as a king. I'm sorry. I now feel confident as a queen to my king, to my children and my community, and I adore my different sides. This path of feminine awakening is a lifelong one, and each moment of time you get to visit your archetypes in their light and shadow, which may sometimes bring you down to your knees or elevate you. This is the heroine's journey, which ultimately leads to the princess within you that needs to be saved and united by you. Now, here's the best part, right? Your partner will be excited to be a woman who engages in this inquiry honestly and vulnerably. You'll attract a man who wants to do the same. So, what's great is there's a masculine version of this journey. Just as women have these archetypes, men have their archetypes. And there's a book called, it's called Lover, Warrior, King, Magician, something like that. And it's a book for men to explore these different aspects of themselves. And there's also another book called The Way of the Superior Man. That's a very well known book. And, it also kind of goes through the masculine journey. And yeah, I think to me, understanding all of these has helped me integrate my different sides of the feminine and define what feminine looks and feels like to me. So in this exercise, I shared some journaling and embodying each of these for a day. I mean, for me, I've spent like months at a time embodying each of these just to explore what comes up for me and how it feels. Okay. On page 217, I talk about honoring the different seasons of womanhood. So, you know, we often think like our life is like, you know, you get married, have kids, then they grow up, then and you become successful in your career, and then by the age of 40, your life starts going down and you reach menopause, and then you retire at 60, and then, et cetera, et cetera. And that's kind of like how society perceives womanhood. And yet, what I invite you to do is just look at these different archetypes in your life and where you are embodying certain archetypes consciously. And going forward, how you can embody these archetypes one at a time, predominantly, right? Like for right now, I have 3 kids under 5. So I'm embodying the mother archetype consciously. Okay. But also when I'm with my husband, I invite the lover archetype to show up. And on this call today, I'm inviting the wise woman to show up. Okay. And even the lover. So, just honoring the different phases of your life and knowing that they all play an important role in your path of mastery. Okay. On page 217, I talk about healing the sister wound. This is really powerful too. I actually had, well, yeah, I had a healing session with my natural healer recently. He's like an integrative medicine doctor or whatever, and he uses muscle testing to see root causes of illnesses within us. And he looked at one of my, illnesses, and not illnesses, but like imbalances. And he's like, it looks like you were hurt by a sister in your life. Did you have any did you have a bad relationship with one of your sisters growing up? And I was thinking about it, and I was like, no, not really, but I know that there were ways that we wounded each other when we were young without realizing it, and that still lived in my body. Like, this is deep stuff, right? So we have a lot to learn through our relationships with other women, particularly our sisters, our mothers. So, do you struggle with comparing yourself or feeling triggered or jealous of certain women? Have you been hurt by your mother, sister, or girlfriend in the past? Given that so many women struggle with different wounds, it's natural that we hurt each other in unconscious ways because of our superiority and inferiority complexes with each other and painful mothering patterns, right? We looked at that in the mother wound section of the book. Sure, there are going to be a lot of people who trigger you, but when you heal your sister wound, your wound with other women, you begin to feel more secure, accepting, and confident within yourself. Every other woman or girl is a manifestation of you, and whatever they're struggling with on an unconscious level, you made too. Take some time to nurture your relationships with other women and join a women's circle. That's been one of the most profound experiences for me, is joining women's circles and being affirmed by other women, being able to like brag and share my light with other women, who like support me and see me in my light, see me in my potential. Not just women I complain to, but like kind of having, um, yeah, women who are aspiring for authenticity, for vulnerability, for living a life of open-heartedness and transformation. So if you can find a women's circle like that, we're going to be starting one for our clients for our coaching practice. We're going to be meeting once a month to do some mindfulness and sharing and creating this community. Okay. So here's a note on jealousy and envy. If you ever feel jealous of another woman, it's indicating something that you deeply desire. Okay. And don't think that there's anything wrong with you for feeling jealous. Just bless that person and love yourself. Love yourself even more. Okay. We usually feel jealous. I mean, I'm sorry, we usually feel ashamed when we feel jealous. Like, I remember I used to go to friends' weddings and I would feel jealous of the woman getting married or my friends who are married. And that would make me feel even more lonely and ashamed and all of that because I wanted to be happy. So when you can shift your jealousy to just loving yourself, accepting yourself, forgiving yourself for feeling that way, and then appreciating what the other person has, you can start to feel authentic joy for the person, and you can sit with what you want to manifest in your life. You can start to align with that energetically. Okay. Bring that into your own visioning of what you are creating in your life. Okay. I had a client session recently, and this client realized that she was jealous of two women in her workplace. One of them was younger than her, married, CEO of the company, had two kids, and all this time she was jealous of her. And she's like, now that I look at it, I don't think I want that exactly. Like, I can bless her because I do want what she has, but not right now. Like, I'm okay, and maybe I do want to figure out what I want to create in my life, and it doesn't have to be what she's creating. So she was just looking at this woman as a compass for herself, for what she wants to manifest in her life. And she shifted that energy of being jealous to one of, blessing. Okay. So we're at the end of this week's reading. And congratulations for making it this far and discovering your wow factor. So we're on step 3 of the 5 steps to calling in your soulmate. And next week, we're going to be talking about aligning with your purpose and igniting your passion. So again, this is an important aspect of leading a turned on life. And when you're turned on, then you begin to attract people who are turned on by you. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can type them in right now. And please like this video. And if you feel that this series is beneficial to you, if you feel that this book is beneficial to you, please, please, please leave me a review on Amazon. I'd really appreciate it. And also share this book with others. Okay. And if you need more support, coaching support, I have a great team of coaches and therapists who are ready to support you in reaching your next level of fulfillment. Okay. So see you next week. Take care. Bye.